Well, the heat is still on the Senate, despite senators being home on summer recess. President Trump continues to eye voter ID as his top legislative priority. The Save America Act is stalled in the Senate, and House Speaker Mike Johnson wants to help the president bring it over the finish line.
In New Jersey a few weeks back, remember, they voluntarily told us they found 6,600 non-citizens registered to vote in that state. So this is a serious problem. Election integrity is a top priority and issue for the president. The last version we sent over on a budget resolution for a reconciliation bill to the Senate, and I'm very hopeful they'll process that very quickly, because we added election integrity, the Save America Act, with some funding for troops and farmers. I don't think anybody who has common sense can vote against that.
Let's bring in New Jersey Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew, a member of the House Judiciary Committee. So the roadblock seems to be not in the House, but in the Senate. What are the chances, you think, that the SAVE Act ultimately does get passed?
It's going to be hard, but we're really going to push for it. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it is simplistic but true to say, if you are voting in an American election, you should be an American. There's nothing complicated about that. Then we've been told for years, well, there are no non-Americans that are voting in our elections. And of course, we see that there were 6,600 that willfully, openly admitted it. We don't know how many people lied. We've got to dig into that. Maybe, John, we can talk about that a little bit in a minute, what we're doing on the House side, what I'm doing in my committee, and how we want to proceed forward. But it is ridiculous. You should not need 60 votes to get something done in the Senate. And believe me, if the Democrats ever take control, they're not going to abide by the filibuster. This filibuster is a relatively new development in American history. The old filibuster was a standing filibuster where people could talk a long time and slow things down. But, we almost need a super majority to get anything done in the Senate. It's absurd. Basically, it's saying we don't want to do anything at all. And quite frankly, Americans are tired of it, and I'm tired of it.
Your governor, New Jersey Governor Mikie Sherrill, surprised a lot of people this week when she said she is in favor of voter ID laws, but she doesn't like the SAVE Act. Listen.
Whether or not you would support some kind of voter ID.
Certainly, if that was the law passed here, I would support that. I don't have a problem with voter ID. I think it gets a little conflated sometimes with the SAVE Act, which is the federal piece of legislation that you often hear about. That is a voter suppression piece of legislation.
How does the SAVE Act end up becoming voter suppression, according to the governor?
The SAVE Act is a robust example of what voter ID is about. In the SAVE Act, when you register to vote, you have to have a number of forms of ID, just like you have to have with anything else, whether you go into a federal building or a liquor store or buy a firearm. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's all the SAVE Act basically does. But by the way, just so we all know, the Senate wasn't even willing to vote for a simple ID bill the other day, as we all saw. We didn't even get it through. Just showing ID and not even being nearly as robust and comprehensive a plan as the SAVE Act. Look, this is a cherished thing. Men and women died for the right to vote in the United States of America. We have to protect it. We have to take care of it. We have to make sure that real people are voting. Only those that should vote should be allowed to vote. I don't know how else to say it.
It seems like it's a fairly black and white issue for Americans. A Fox News poll asked if valid photo ID should be required to prove U.S. citizenship before being allowed to register to vote. 83% said you got to have ID to register. And then just to vote, a slightly smaller number, 77%, say you ought to be required to produce voter ID. If it's that kind of overwhelming support, Congressman, why is it so difficult to get this legislation passed?
Well, first of all, it's humorous to me, and I'm happy. I'm happy that the governor now thinks you need to have some form of ID. The left has fought this time and again, over and over again. They don't want ID. You tell me, John, what's the only reason you don't want to have voter ID? It means you want people voting that shouldn't be voting. And that's wrong. And I'm sad to say, but that is what some of the folks on the left want. They want people voting that shouldn't be voting. Otherwise, they would have no problem with this. Now, it's so unbelievably popular. Even some Democrats, all Republicans, all independents, whether you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, everybody agrees because they cherish our right to vote that you should have ID. So even the governor now begrudgingly has to go along that, yes, you need voter ID as well because she's been embarrassed. I mean, here all along, remember, John, folks like me for years have been saying something was wrong. And we were told we were xenophobic, that we were racist, that we were conspiracy theorists. And here we come out in our own state of New Jersey, and I'm embarrassed and sad to say this, there were thousands and thousands of people that registered to vote, and get this, admitted that they were illegal, and admitted and said, yes, we're registered to vote, and New Jersey did nothing about it. Gosh knows how many people are on the rolls and have voted who just didn't tell the truth. We got to straighten this out. That's why my subcommittee, where I'm chairman on oversight and judiciary, we have contacted the lieutenant governor for his piece of it, who's working with the software company to find out what went wrong, because it's not the software company's fault that these illegals were voting. We're working with the Attorney General's office. We've gotten the chairman of the committee and myself have gotten information over him and asked him to check into all this. I'm having a hearing on it as well. We're going to keep pushing and we're going to keep working on it because this is a really, really big deal. This should have never happened.
That's just the state of New Jersey. There could be others as well. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, Republican of New Jersey, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.